Hello class. Hello class. Good morning. How are you all doing? Okay. Today I am making this recording for the asynchronous class we're having. I'm giving you today to have some off-screen time and to also at the same time finish up your lessons. Okay. And also I want to inform you that we'll be having a midterm review, which is a kind of test on all the 4 lessons that we have done so far. And what are those 4 lessons? The first lesson is the UAE landscape and Jebel Fire. The second lesson is Jebel Buhais and the Neolithic Age. The third lesson is what was this lesson we started in the last class? The third lesson is now I'm going to remember. I'm trying to see. Okay, the third lesson is on Bronze Age, the Bronze Age and the Umana culture. And the fourth lesson, which I'm going to put you through today, is on the Falaj system, the impact of the Falaj during the Iron Age. What is the impact of the Falaj during the Iron Age? So we've learned about the Neolithic Age, Bronze Age, and now the Iron Age. What happened in the Iron Age, we would like to know. Okay, so quickly let me just go and revise what you learned on the Bronze Age for the help of those who have not done their classwork, who don't know what to do about it and how to do it. So for the Bronze Age, remember that we talked about the people that lived in the Bronze Age for Umana culture, and they had the Umana culture in those days. We talked about this, we defined the key vocabularies. You can see my screen. Talked about nomad, Umana Island, and that is an island close to Abu Dhabi. All these have been gone through. I've gone through this in the last lesson. I don't want to go through it again. So this is the boat of Magan. You remember the Magan boat that was built with a mixture of bitumen and various oils obtained from animals. So, and all the things about the Umana culture, the use of coal, the use of jewelries, how they were, the remains of people that died there were excavated and they found jewelries in their tombs and all that. So I gave you this classwork on it. Quickly, let us go to this just to remind you about it. So in this classwork, I have answered the questions in my page. You can use this to self-assess yourself if you got the answers right or not. And please make sure you mark it for yourself. Okay, so about this challenges of a drying climate, in some classes, almost all the classes, I think we've answered this question on challenges of a drying climate under the Bronze Age. Okay, which is the last lesson that we did. 10A, B, C, D, we've done all this, yes. So we're going to compare the health of people from the passage. You've read the passage already. If you've not read it, please do. I'm just going to answer the question straight. Okay, we're going to compare the health of people from 5000 BC with people from 4000 BCE. And from 5000 BCE, they were generally healthy. From 4000 BCE, life became very tough because the climate was drier and diseases were common, so their health deteriorated. Yeah, so that's the answer. So for number 2, the probable cause for the change in people's health. The dry climate was a probable cause, and then people not having enough to eat was another probable cause for the change in people's health. Okay, and number 3 answer is, how did the change in climate change where people lived? The change in climate, how did it change where people live? The change in climate was less rains, and then people started moving away from the area. You know, there was less rain. Rain started to reduce, the amount of rain falling started to reduce, every day, and then people start to move away from the area. Then name 3 ways that people obtained food. People gathered food in traditional ways. They gathered wild plants and fruits. They also hunted animals such as orings and gazelles. They developed efficient ways of catching large fishes. How did people obtain fresh water? People dug wells to bring fresh water. Why was it difficult to travel from Alain across the desert? Because it was hard to come across donkeys. So if you check this passage, you will see this. If you have a different answer to what I wrote here, let me know before you check yourself right, okay? So here is told for you to watch the video and answer the questions. I put 2 videos here if you are able to watch. If you're not, these are the answers I have for this. Where was the first circular tomb found? It is in Al Sufo archaeological site in Dubai. In Dubai. Dubai. Okay, that was the first. It was showing the Umana culture also. That's the first circular tomb. Why did archaeologists call these people the Umana culture? Because in Amana culture is a name given to a civilization in the Bronze Age, and the archaeologists discovered various things that said a lot about their culture, like their jewelries that were buried with them. You know, when archaeologists were excavating the people there, they saw that jewelries were buried with them. So what was different about these tombs compared to most tombs? The tombs were circular in shape, as you can see, okay? What was buried with the people? Their jewelries and some other things. What materials were the items made of? I have a feeling that these items were made of bronze because there was so much bronze in the area, bronze and copper. How did the tomb send the message that everyone is equal? Because they were buried in the same place. If you go and look at the history of the Umana culture of the area, or then in the Bronze Age, they were buried in the same place. Everyone was equal then. Okay, now I know this almost the thing of this thing of saying that everyone was equal is almost contradicting what they said, that women were not treated fairly. In the other, you would say that in that video. So it was a video I got on YouTube. So I don't know how correct that information must have been. So for this passage, you read about the Umana and the Bronze Age. I'm just trying to revise what you should have done, because I gave you this classwork since last week. I gave you one as homework. That first one I gave you as classwork that I just treated, and this is as homework. 8 to 12 week second classwork, but I just gave you as homework now. That was the first classwork for 8 to 12 week. So I put this in your homework section. And last week you're supposed to have SST homework. This week you're supposed to have ME homework. So please go through the passage and give me just a minute. So it is believed that you should have read this before in the other lesson, in the last week. But if you have not read it, I hope you have read it by now. I have to do something quickly. So the first question is, in what two ways was the Umana culture unique? Okay, so this is the answers I gave here. I put an answer key. The Umana people provided a sense of equality between people then. Those were the two ways in which they were unique. The Umana culture established some basic patterns of life such as trade and culture. So look through these answers. I don't want to go through them over and over. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the chat box. You can send a message to me on the group. You can let me know about any of these answers that I put here, okay? This is for your guidance. Please do your self-assessment on these two work that I have treated just now, okay? Self-assessment means that you should check it yourself. So those who keep saying, oh, miss, have not checked my work, I don't want to see that these works have not been checked. 8 to 12 week second class work, and the first one is in the class work. It's all present on your notebook though. Okay, so quickly let us go to the next topic. So we are done with the Bronze Age and Umana culture, the Bronze Age. Okay, and this is what I have done. I want to let you know this before I go on with the lesson. If you look in your notebook now, you will see that I have uploaded SST lesson 1 unit 1, SST lesson 1 unit 2, or lesson 2 unit 1, SST lesson 3 unit 1, like that. So 4 lessons are present, which are the lessons in the textbook. So this is the first lesson, UAE landscape and job of fire. This is what is in your textbook exactly. I have uploaded it directly on the first page lesson in your textbook. It is arranged in order on my content library. If you go to my content library, this is the second lesson in the textbook. Okay, the second lesson in your textbook. Sorry, please excuse me. Okay, sorry for the interruption. So, according to every lesson, I have uploaded this in your one notebook. Please check. So, here is the third lesson as we have treated it. The Bronze Age and Umana is there. So this is the fourth lesson now, which is the impact of Falaj during the Iron Age. So we've learned about the Neolithic Age, we learned about the Bronze Age, and now the Iron Age. So we're going to identify how a Falaj works and its importance to the community. That's the lesson objective. We're going to describe the housing and food of the UAE area during the Iron Age. We're going to explain why we need to recognize and preserve World Heritage sites like Al Ain Oasis. I put a video on this, you can see. So key vocabulary words are Falaj. Falaj, you know what Falaj is, Oasis is, Iron Age, Iron Mud Brick. You can look for the meaning of this at this stage. So I'll give you some time to look for the meaning of this, then we can go on, okay? Okay, so the Falaj system, Oasis, what is Oasis? Falaj, the plural of Falaj is written here is Aflaj. Falaj is Aflaj. You must have heard of this word before, maybe in year 9, I think Miss Mark taught you about Falaj, or maybe year 5 or so, I can't remember, but I know it's a topic on its own. So it's a form of irrigation system also in those days. Okay, so this is a warm-up activity. How do you get fresh water for drinking and cooking? How do you get water for other things like your kitchen and your bathroom? How would you get water if you lived 4,000 years ago? So, can you answer that question? How would you get water if you lived 4,000 years ago? How do you get water today? First of all, answer the question of how do you get water today? You tell us how you get water today. I know how we get water today, of course. Water is being produced or being gotten across to us from the water corporation, and then it comes out in our taps. Okay, so how water in the past, how did they get it? It must have been a bit difficult in the past, right? So let's go on. So there's a video you're supposed to watch. They didn't really give us in the textbook, they didn't give us a link for the video, as you can see. And I just got a video from YouTube, which is the traditional Falaj irrigation system in Al Ain. This is the video, you can watch it. If you see any information that can help you on this, you can use it. But I didn't see much information on it. So it's asking, the question here is, how old is the invention that video discusses? Why I'm not doing a PPT on this topic is because this topic is I've already put the page of the textbook there. So there's no need to start doing another PPT because this is already what you have to learn. And let's just discuss it directly. Okay? So I already shared this into your notebook. This is my own content library I am discussing from. And this is where the answers are for me. Okay? If you want to get the answers, you can go to my content library. Okay? Or you can do it on your own. So how did people get fresh water during the Stone Age? So you have to find out how people got water during the first. I answered some questions, I didn't answer some. So what happened around 4000 BC? The area received less and less rain, thereby making climate drier. So this is what happened around 4000 BC. It received less and less rainfall, thereby making the climate drier. Of course, you can find out. We've been talking about 4000 BC, 4000 BC. This was what happened around 4000 BC. Okay, so let's go on. How do people get fresh water during the Bronze Age? Yes, in the Bronze Age time, if you look at the topic of Bronze Age, people dug wells to reach the fresh water. We treated this in the Bronze Age topic under the Bronze Age. So what was the problem with this technology of digging well? What year? Because the climate became drier, this technology of digging wells it was not working for them again. I'm answering this question, but I didn't write it down. About what year was the solution to this problem found? This was when the Falaj came around. This was when the solution to this problem was found, when this Falaj came up. So you are going to learn what a Falaj is. What is a Falaj? Everything is defined, all these questions are defined in this paragraph. So you read this paragraph, the Falaj system, read it on your own, and then I'm just going to tell you the answers. Okay, you can pause the video, go and read it on your own, or all all I want to do is answer the questions for you and tell you where it is in the passage, okay? Then you go through it on your own, okay? Okay, so what did people in Sharjah do to get fresh water then, according to the passage? So I have read the passage and then this is what I saw. The people of Sharjah used new types of well that tap the fresh water that lay above salty water. This is how they got fresh water. So why were wells and springs not enough to get fresh water? They were not enough because there were less rainfall. That was why it was not enough. Number 3, how did a flood impact human life in the region around 1000 BC? A flood is the plural of Falaj, remember. So, how did it impact human life? It impacted human life because new villages and towns grew in the UAE interior. Okay, so let's go on. How are a Falaj and oasis related? You do this yourself. How do you think that the underground channel of water saved water? You're going to do this yourself also, and this you're going to do yourself also. You read the question and you answer. Can you think of things made of iron? Can you think of things made of steel? This will prepare you for the next topic, okay? For the next thing we're going to do about the Iron Age. This is the Iron Age. When was the Iron Age? It is good to learn about the Iron Age now. Okay, so I've read it and I'm going to answer the questions for you. What are the approximate time for each age in the UAE area? So I'm going to be checking your OneNote. This is what I'll be looking for. If you answer this question, things made from iron, I'm going to be looking for the rest of the things I didn't answer here if you have answered them in your OneNote. This is how I will know if you watch this video and you're doing your work, okay? Okay, but if you're going to do this like the way I'm doing it, you can just take these answers and then add your own to it, okay? So what are approximate time for each age in the UAE area? For the Stone Age, we have up to 3000 BC for Stone Age, like that. See, I've answered all the questions there. You see it in the passage above, okay? Why did people prefer to use iron instead of bronze in those days? People preferred to use iron instead of bronze because iron was more durable than bronze. It means that it lasted longer than bronze, okay? Okay, so why didn't the Iron Age start at the same time all over the world? According to the passage, the presence of iron and the technologies to utilize iron appeared at different times at different parts of the world. That is why the Iron Age did not start all over the world. So number 4, what material did people start to use to make houses? Look at the passage. What materials did people start to use to make houses? This is it. They were made of mud brick. Why did they make it? That's the next question now. The construction of mud brick houses relied upon knowledge of which materials to use in mud bricks and how to design buildings so that they would last long. So they discovered that these mud brick houses were still there and were found out by the archaeologists 3,000 years later. You can see it here. So these mud brick houses, there was a way they tried to build these houses and it will last so long. 3,000 years later, you can imagine that they were still there. Okay, so what material did people start to use to make houses? What materials? Okay, so why can we say that this material is very durable? Why can we say that, okay, this material that people use to make houses, why is it durable? Okay, that's what I answered in the other question. That's why it was durable, because people felt it will last long because it was based on the knowledge they had then. Okay, so what crops could grow after the introduction of the Falaj according to the reading? This is what they said could grow after they introduced the Falaj system. See here, the use of the Falaj changed the crops that could be grown. The evidence that sesame was cultivated, they used for making oil and flour, the herb basil and other plants were grown and cultivated in the small gardens, made possible with the Falaj. Okay, so let's go on. So this you're going to do yourself. you're going to do a search on the internet to find at least 3 modern day items made from copper, bronze, iron, and steel. So you're going to do it on your own and write it there. Here again, we have another discussion point. I put a video here on Al Oasis. You're going to watch what the Al Oasis is in Abu Dhabi, UAE. And why is it important that we recognize and preserve sites from history like the Al Oasis? Why do we have to preserve sites like this? Okay, let's just think about it. Write your discussion. Write what you think there, okay, in that box. Okay, so take your ideas from activity 6 and write them as a paragraph saying why we need to preserve World Heritage sites like Al Oasis. So that is a continuation of what you did in activity 6 here, this activity. Okay, why is it important? You write it, continue writing in this box. Okay, you don't have to write everything. Okay, so see, the Al Oasis. Why is it important that we recognize and preserve sites from history like the Al Oasis? Okay, so this is the end of the lesson. This is all about the Falaj system. So you're going to read the passages carefully and watch the video so as to be able to answer the questions yourself. Okay, so please do some self-checking with what the answers are given already there. I don't want anyone to say, oh, she didn't check our work. Check your work yourselves with the answer that we've seen me right there. Okay, do it and check it yourself. Okay, this is what I want to do. I want to show you that video quickly. How many minutes have we done? Okay, we've gone past some minutes. Almost the period should be over by now. Okay, and although there were some breaks in between, so we should consider that. Okay, you're just going to watch that Falaj system on your own and then you end it there. So we have now completed the 4 lessons in the book. Please make sure you go through them. Anyone you have issues, this is what I'll be doing. I'll go and answer the classwork I gave you here. I'll try to see if I can answer each. I'll put an answer here. The 5th week classwork, I'll put the answers there. The 6th week and 9th week classwork, 6th week classwork, I'll type the answers in my contents library. I will not share it to your page. Take note of that, okay? I will not share it to your page. You go to my content library to see it because you're supposed to do it on your own, not me spoon feeding you. That is spoon feeding. I'm just going to write it in my page for my own reference, okay? If you want to see the answer, go there and you just check your own work, okay? Okay, and then you check your own work yourself. That's the purpose of me doing it there. Please don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. I am putting the answers there so that you'll be able to check your work and say, okay, did I get it right? Okay, is teacher doing it this way? Okay, I want you to be able to self-assess yourself. So all those who are saying their works are not checked, check it yourself now and I will see it if you have checked. Okay, so thank you for coming to class. And please prepare for the midterm review next week. It will be 30 marks for the midterm review. It means that the review, it is like that in your textbook that you are going to be having a midterm review. Okay. All right. So thank you for coming to class, and having gone through this video, you must have understood what you have to do. All right. Thank you and have a nice day. And please complete all your work that you have that was given to you in the Falaj topic. Okay, last week's topic is not included in what you are completing today because you should have done it earlier. It means a bronze age, but today you're supposed to complete everything about the Falaj system that I explained to you. All right, okay, so nobody comes asking me, so Miss, what exactly are we supposed to do? Okay, you already know. All right, thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.